Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Um, okay, without much agenda today, I want to play, and I've got more than 20 minutes to play. So let's see what comes through. There's an awful lot of astrology, and you're going to feel some kind of way about that. And if I show you, okay, so this is the chart for tomorrow, because tomorrow is the Capricorn full moon. This is true sky, 13 sign, true sky astrology. And you're going to feel some kind of way about it, because first of all, we've got this beautiful Barbault's basket here. And if you research Monsieur Barbault, you'll see how he locked himself away to discover this. And it's kind of feels like a space to hold a cornucopia of synchronicities. So this moon is going to be really interesting. So we've got Moon conjunct Pluto, opposite Jupiter conjunct Sun. And that's going to be some kind of um, power struggle. It might be the struggle between intuition and intellect, um, all sorts. I don't want to speak too heavily into the archetypes because they can create something concrete that isn't in the field. And during the full moon, the sun will cross Jupiter. So there you have the kiss. Um, and so I would guide you to check out these planets, because these outer planets, yeah, here's another beautiful challenge. We have Saturn, Neptune retrograde. And for me, they're basically saying, bring structure to your intuition. Challenge yourself in getting lost in the dreaminess and the wishingness, but bring structure to it to pull it out of the field and make it something. So, yeah, I might guide you to have a look at your natal chart and check where these positions, which houses these positions land with you, because that's what they're going to be activating. In the collective, it's activating 4, 6, 8, 10. And again, I'm not going to go into the archetypes. Yeah, that's it. Keep it simple. Let's stop that and go back here. And we're going to play with 5 decks today just to see what comes out. And I'm going to start, yeah, I'm going to start with the structure. And for that, I'm going to introduce you to the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, because that is the structure. So, what are we playing with today? And how are you, by the way? Is anybody sleeping? Is anybody having terrible headaches? Sudden temperature, sudden flu symptoms that just disappear mysteriously, aches and pains, mad synchronicities. That might be a bit too many. That's too much. Let's just have a look at this one and see what we've got. Okay, Neptune's in the house. I'm going to check myself. Do you see how I went straight to Neptune there? Because it's the water element and she's in the field. That's reaching into an archetype. So I want to just lock that down a little bit because it can stop unconventional messages coming in. I know YouTube doesn't like body parts. So, intuition, emotions, love. But where's the structure? But where's the structure? So I'm getting the structure is in the body parts, in the toning and the signaling, in the myriad computations that bring ether to life. All right, well, we're working with that then. And the underlying energy is the Wheel of Fortune. Do you want to have a look at that? Yeah. So this is me right now. I can't pull anything meaningful from that. So I'm just going to sail blind. Fortune, quest, abundance. Yeah, let's go to the musical. So we're going to go here now. And if I haven't mentioned it and you're not already aware, if you follow Russell's, so this deck was made by some brilliant creators. I don't know all of them. I do know Russell Penn, who has a YouTube channel called Rustling Around, and he's a mate of mine. And the last time we were in touch, moments afterwards, he had a massive stroke. And he's touring the Far East. And it's a big one. It's going to change his life. So yeah, send him your love. And I believe that his clan are doing a crowdfunding page to try and get him home. So I will find that link and pop it in the comments if anybody wants to help him get home. So thank you. Thank you. You're undecided. Underlying energy. So we have the sun in Cancer, don't we, for the full moon? Okay, I just brought two cards into proximity with one another in this rush of energy. So it looks like this one has called this one in. I'll read this for you. Regulus, in your element, fluid ad libitum, new inner resonance, finding a new home, self-coronated. So crowning the self, that's one's own dignity and sovereignty. Healed living. And then the values, the negative and positive values on the back. Number 96, which reduces to a 15-6. So that's spiritual alchemy, devil energy. I am muted, sovereign, unrecognizable, creation, ether guides me. truly fluid and ecstatic elation. Life is laughter with love in every moment. I am sonorous, sovereign, unrecognizable. Creation, ether guides me. Truly fluid and ecstatic elation. Life is laughter with love in every moment. I see what you've done there, Russell. Mm. This is gold energy, it's sun energy, crown energy. So we have water and the crown coming in. Intuition and the crown in your element. And to accompany those two, it might be slow today. Try and sit in the slowness. I know YouTube can breed an army of fastness, um, but try and sit in the snow. I'm just noticing in me there's a pull to speed it up, Chrissy. I'm not doing that. So we also have Chariklo and Cinnabar. Your core ore and graceful enforcer of boundaries. This is so subtle. Chariklo, graceful enforcer of boundaries, opening chord, nervous system, shape-shifting cosmic medicine wheel, law of shamanic health, soothing neural networks, awakening through illness. Awakening through illness that isn't illness. And we can underestimate the effects of what is actually happening to consciousness on the planet. And as we move out of heavy density into something slightly more porous, the body has to shed what it's been holding. That fixed, concrete belief system, philosophy, religion, education, all the big structures that hold a belief system in place. And how can we change the world if we don't break that, dissolve it, tell it it has served its time, or hold on, because that's a choice as well. Your core ore, the conductor's baton. So with you as conductor of your orchestra, how does that change your life? How does that change your view? A card speaks of ignition. I'm not picking that up just yet. I'm getting very subtlety. Shall I call this video very subtle subtlety? So we have those and we're not getting anywhere, and I'm just playing. I'm still looking for the structure. Finding a new home. Well, the home is in here, and the answers are in here, and the blueprints are in here, and the wiring diagrams and the plumbing and the landscaping. It's everything that we need to build is within. And so I guess ignition is within too. So if I speak to Barbolt's basket, then I might ask, what are you holding? Or what are you holding on to? Is there anything within you that gives you a wobble when you anticipate, when you consider letting it go, releasing it? What gives you a wobble when you consider releasing it? Because in the releasing of it, it will trigger a death and rebirth, and you will become something or someone else. I'm going to go to the Isis deck. Um, I'm going to go to the Isis deck. There's a lot of water. There's a lot of water here. Okay, keep working with the subtlety. So we have the spirit of Isis, which talks about when it's time to surrender and let go, and maybe not to give up. Yeah. Mm. Water can cut a mountain in half. The only variable is time. Persist with your bold faith and inspired action until the impossible happens. Speaks of never failing in your quest, no matter how bold or impossible it seems. I would challenge that and I would say, where is that coming from? That big, bold vision, is it coming from ego? Or is it erupting out of you at a cellular level? Is it the thing you can't not do? Is it the thing that keeps you awake and makes you leap out of bed in the morning? Ego won't give you that level of passion. It will give you that level of want and desire. But real passion is when it becomes the thing you can't not do. Almost like your raison d'etre. Without it, you die. Yeah, thank you. The umbrella message I'm sensing for this is get into your body and really start. If you ever teach yourself somatic process, book a couple of sessions with me. I'll teach you somatic process and you can go off and play with it. But if there's a level of suppression, there is massive suppression on the planet, and that's suppressing ourselves at a cellular level. We have trillions of cells that all store vibrational memory. Sorry, our DNA stores the memory of our experience from the very beginning of the family line, the lineage. And it's all in there to read like a book. It is your opus, you know? And I can see it. I can just see these big patriarchal structures crumbling and falling. And some people knowing exactly what to do because they are self-coronated, because they've developed themselves are at an esoteric level. So their inner world is as palpable as their outer world. Their inner self is in alignment with their outer self. There's no disparity. Everything is in alignment. And they're just going to step off one timeline and onto another. Those who haven't been training themselves to really listen and respond and listen and respond, because that action of listen and respond sometimes flies in the face of what society wants from you. It flies in the face of polite behavior, agreeable behavior, the people pleaser, the savior, people acting outside themselves to feed something inside is not alignment. It's need, actually, and the need is being met by helping others. I feel good about myself. Call it what it is. And so I guess rising up out of this water, there has to be the sharp, brutal truth, Saturn retrograde. Yeah, take responsibility for that. Because what you're telling me is very dreamy. I was put on this earth to help you. Okay. But the actual fact is, it's you that needs help. Because while you're looking after all of these people, who's looking after you? While you're caring for all of these people, who's caring for you? Is your mechanism of caring for people a way to avoid self-love, self-care, self-parenting? These are the brutal, ugly questions, you know? Yeah. Mhm. Mm. I love how his crown is her sacral. Mm. Proper burial for freedom, this one is called. There is nothing to be gained and everything to be lost by trying to hold on to that which no longer serves us. Osiris, Lord of the Dead, guides you now to release that which no longer needs to be a part of your life so that you may be free. And you may not want to do that because it might involve a loved one. It might involve where you live. It might involve what you do for a living. It might involve who you've projected yourself as into the world. These upcoming changes are going to be radical. They need to be radical. They need to be radical. We can't keep faffing around with this. You know, great change is here. It's on our doorstep. And if we want to play and build the new, not because of any sense of moral obligation to save the world, but if we want to play and build something new, we have to let go of what's done. We've done it. We've done the religion, done the education, we've done big pharma, we've done banking, we've done corporate. The five giants that control social conformity. I wonder if I'll ever get to share it. I'm just reminded that recently I started playing with AI. This is my first time. And Joe Rogan introduced me to an AI called Perplexity. It is absolutely brilliant. I love it. And so I put into Perplexity, my first play was show me examples of systemic gaslighting that has become mandated or law. And then I went through the five giants, and Perplexity did not hold back, was completely impartial, gathered tons of information of where the mass populace is gaslit into believing a certain thing that allows another to trade or make money or swing a belief system, whatever, in its favor. And then it said, do you want me to gather all this information and put it to a table? No, I'm Mercury first house, so give me analysis any day, and I'm an anorak. Oh, yes, please. So it did all of that, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Maybe I'll share it with you one day, but you know, gaslighting is so subtle. It can be as subtle as people saying to you, people telling you who you are. It can be as subtle as that when it's something you want to hear. Oh, you are lovely. And you take that on board and you integrate that. Do you think you're lovely? Have you just integrated someone else's projection actually about themselves that they can't own? It's all very beautifully complex, but it does ask the question about if you pay attention to gaslighting as a concept and see if then the reticular activator can spot gaslighting. And you'll know it in your gut. You'll know it in your gut because if you're here, if you're here on the Zeta channel, then you're doing your work. I'm pretty convinced of it. So, proper burial for freedom, get yourself free of concretized belief systems. And that might look like days of journaling to really drill down, do use critical inquiry and call yourself out, ring your own bullshit bell. Surrender to yourself. Surrender to yourself. And the last card from the Isis deck is Soul Retrieval. Because when you're connected to yourself at a soul level, there's no hoodwinking you. Because you know, as my dad used to say, you just KNOW. And when you know on that level, you just know. And when you've done your work of personal authority and sovereignty and dignity, that's unrockable. So this card speaks to spiritual restoration and deep soul healing through the art of soul retrieval, reclaiming pieces of you lost through trauma, old and new, enjoying greater wellness, energy, and power, but be willing to go through a healing process. Because it isn't pretty. You know, when you do deep soul work, how did Erickson McCall described it as an unforgiving fall into darkness until you find the song that sings you home. It can be brutal. It can leave you feeling like I'm never going to stop crying. I'm never going to stop purging. You will. I've done the legwork. I don't talk about anything on this channel that I haven't done myself. You will. You'll come into full connection with yourself and you might be astounded at what you are and what you came here to be. So let's go to the healing then. We're going to go to mystical healing. This is an amazing deck because the cards are fucking brilliant. The book is not. So I think the illustrator is very connected and maybe the book writer, not so much. But I love the cards. Yeah, okay. Okay, there's something already coming in here about. Right. So what I just heard then when I was saying, but the book writer, not so much. What I heard was, you can't say that. You can. And I had a conversation with somebody the other day who's quite a shy mystic, very gentle person, very shy, who's always afraid of saying the wrong thing. And I asked, what would it be like to say the wrong thing, willfully, disturbingly, to say the wrong thing, to shatter your illusion about yourself, to shatter someone else's illusion about you, and to raise the fire in you, to be willfully not pleasing, displeasing, awkward, difficult, bombastic, all of the aspects of ourselves. It's all in us. All of those aspects are suppressed in conventional, homogenized society. Just be nice. Okay. So there's a radical shift there. And that might make you feel like crap. You might go home and beat yourself up for a week. Stay with that. There's the shadow right there. Okay. Let's speak. Okay. Bare breasts. Actually, no, because I would like this video to go up. How? Yeah, I love your body. How? I wouldn't mind you guys answering that. How do you love your body? Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. How do you love your body? Well, you become sensitive to its needs. Would that be a good start? You listen, then you respond, even when what you're responding to flies in the face of what someone else has told you. Again, challenging the belief system. Mm. Mm. So if I ask, what are the benefits of loving your body? I might suggest, actually, crikey, here's the story. Oh, here's the story. Right. Need a drink. The underlying story is release fear, relieve anxiety, minimize guilt, transform anger. Look at all this red. Create boundaries. This is beautiful. Step into the unknown and listen to your intuition. Right, let's talk to these. So I'm going to share a process actually. So every week after my client work is finished, I go into decompression. And one of the ways I decompress is by bringing my nervous system back into harmony. And I do that by lying down. And for this, you can literally lie on the couch and listen to music or watch TV or sit in the dark, whatever. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Good challenge. I watched a beautiful video this morning from one of my favorite women on the planet, Marion Woodman. And part of what I do for a living was taught to me by the Marion Woodman Foundation. And she's a Jungian psychoanalyst. Amazing woman, all grit. She's just gorgeous. And she was talking about, I'm going to hold these two cards. She was talking about how the human, in the pursuit of God or the divine, actually rejects itself at the material level, at a primal level. Because seeking that divine is A, to remember what you were, stardust, so you remember that somewhere. But the pursuit of it can link in, can tie in an unhealthy way to the pursuit of perfection. Hence, we live in the age of toxic positivity. The pursuit of perfection, of doing the right thing and saying the right thing, not offending anybody, and helping and helping and helping. So it's all outward going. And that fries the nervous system. And when you pursue that perfection without ever really dropping into the primal animal self to experience and transform those lower emotions like shame, guilt, rage, hatred, that real dark feminine stuff, then you're going to be living from the heart upwards, maybe the solar plexus upwards. And if you're doing all of this looking up and out, what happens when these finer vibrations come in? They're gonna hit that layer of suppressed shadow, and you won't be able to pull it through you. So it'll be like the bursting of the workshop bubble. You know, when you do a workshop and you feel all lovely and high, or if you've done a plant medicine something, you feel all lovely and high and connected to God. If you if you can't then make that transition to the 3D mundane home, family, whatever, you're blocked. You can't pull it through you because you need to do your shadow work. Anger is a fantastic emotion. It's a fantastic emotion to fully experience. And I ask you, how many of you have fully experienced as a process your anger? The answer isn't, oh yeah, I get angry with people. That's anger going out. How do you transform it at an internal level? Because just energy. And when you harness that level of fire and bring it out of that fearful base chakra, that base chakra that doesn't feel safe in the world, bring it back up into the body, that's pure creative force. So, one of my processes for rebalancing the nervous system. So, if it's been a really heavy week with clients, it might be that I clear down my energy field. It might be that something that I'm carrying, or I'm carrying a part of someone else's story. So I'm really mindful of that. I know I can find where it is in my field and do that work. So I lie down and I put a hand on my heart, either lower heart or higher heart, and a hand on my belly. And then I let the body take over. There's no mind, there's no thinking, there's no bullet points. It's just let the body do the work. The body is hardwired to self-heal. And then one of two things happen. Many expressions happen, but principally one of two things happen. I either start yawning, and I yawn to such an extent that it makes me laugh because it's proper flip top head yawning as the solar plexus stretches and pulls air into the lungs and just renews the oxygen level in the blood and stabilizes the nervous system. That's one way. And the other way is I suddenly start drinking water. So in an hour, I can drink 2 liters of water and my body is burning water because it's brilliant, because it knows what to do. I don't. But when I get out of the way, the body is brilliant. So get out of the way and say, take over and see what happens, without getting lost in the mental process. Mental just gets in the way of the physical. So all of that work can pull up anger, relieve anxiety, minimize guilt, because that's all stored, release fear. And then we come to the last three, which is create boundaries, step into the unknown, listen to your intuition. What are boundaries? Put most simply, a boundary is sensing where the end of your field is and the beginning of someone else's is. Because this in itself is a point of creation. The meeting of two fields of energy is a kind of creation. It's like when two people come together. What they create together is the third. That's the triangulation. Two people triangulate and create something that hasn't been created before. Has, but it hasn't. So And so here in this space, you're learning to read people energetically rather than cognitively. Okay. The mind cannot process feelings and emotions. It can only understand rationally and cognitively what's happening, and it's not always right. So a boundary is knowing when someone is too close, knowing when someone is too far away. Knowing when someone is pinging you or triggering you or poking you. Okay, so it's trusting the gut before the mind, basically. Boundaries have consequences as well. And again, this is another thing we avoid in this social system, is holding people responsible for their actions as we hold ourselves responsible for ours. That is unacceptable, is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. So if you have part of the people-pleasing blueprint, distortion, these are all distortions of love. People-pleasing, narcissism, savior complex, victim-martyr complex, parentification complex, golden child. I could go on. There's so many distortions. And what happens to the child in those distortions is the child's boundaries get eroded. They disintegrate until the kid can't tell the difference between it and the adult or the parent. And their inner sensory perception becomes an outer radar. So they're always reading the field, waiting. And that stays with the child into the grown wounded adult if it's never challenged. And courage is needed to establish a boundary and hold it in place with a consequence. Your gut will tell you. Your gut's telling you in the moment, but that child had to suppress and suppress and suppress, and then concoct lies. I am safe in this. So when you lie to the immune system, when you lie to the gut, there's physical response. This is where illness comes from, dis-ease, dysregulation. Stepping into the unknown. So I sense, really, for the rest of this year, new kinds of relationships are going to start coming in. That's nothing to base that on. That's pure intuition. New kinds of relationships are coming in. I'm in a new relationship with AI. That's a new relationship. You might be in a new relationship with food, the land, friends, family, colleagues, air. It's all relationship. Do you bring the past into the present to feel some kind of safe, to feel some kind of familiar? Or can you switch into magical child and skip in and bring that lovely energy? Can you get lost? It's that question again. Can you be lost without answers? This mind, cognitive mind's going to want to come in. Oh, this has happened before. I know about this. No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm replacing you with my intuition. I'm replacing you with my intuition. I don't think I've ever done such a watery reading, apart from this lovely fiery anger, but all I can feel is water. here, and that's what we're working with. And it feels vague. I can't remember anything that I've said. And we're going to go to Sacred Rebels. And we're going to start closing this up, really. Sacred Rebels. Yeah. Dissonant rebellion. And I don't know how to put that into words. So when I said dissonant rebellion, I saw like structure. I don't know how to describe it. I saw the structure become porous and porous and porous until it was just millions of little dots. The field coalescing itself into something new. This dissolving, it's a dissolving. Something about how do you express anger in a subtle way without suppressing yourself? How do you express anger in water element? Hmm. You might not recognize yourself in harmony with your soul. You might not recognize yourself. And there'll be grief that comes out of that, like the pain of knowing you've held yourself back your whole life, but it's part of the growth. But lean into it and let the body purge and let the body grieve or cry or laugh or whatever, because it's just releasing it, recycling it, if you like. But you might not recognize yourself, when you find courage and strength. You might not recognize yourself. Is that it? Yeah, I'm going to call that it and decide what I'm going to call this video. I have no idea. This is the wateriest video I've ever made. So, get into your body as a practice. Learn its language. Let it take over. Respond. And let all of that strengthen your intuition and your inner knowing. Okay, and that is it. It's lovely to have you here, those who are here. And this was great fun. And I will be back with you soon. Take care. Bye bye.